Hello, everybody, and welcome to Painting Happy Little Minis. My name is Leona.
And I'm Dave.
And today we are having lots of fun in the studio watching the videos play. It didn't work as perfectly as I wanted, but that's okay. And we are going to be painting some Bardsung.
Bardsung, a legend of the ancient forge. That's how you're going to say it. You're going to
Yes.
do a deep English
Sorry.
voice.
Bardsung, legend of the ancient forge. Hello, everybody in chat. Thank you for joining. So yes, we are going to be painting some Bardsung. I wanted to show off the box and show you all how huge it is. And
You have to keep going a lap until we open it.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I say you until you open it.
I wanted to ask people like if they wanted, I can do like some unboxing just to show a little bit. Okay, cool.
That'll be good.
Then I will move my palette and wipe the water away that I spilled earlier. So,
okay.
yes, we are back in studio, which is super exciting. Oh,
Very
my
nice.
goodness. Hi, Melbos. Thanks
Mel.
for joining.
Hey, JT. Hey, Jeff.
So we had a sort of, we asked the group what we should paint. So I wanted to show some of the miniatures just from Bardsung.
Check it out.
Ta-da. Yes. So we have the Fabrice Maw that's coming up on the, we're going to paint the foes this evening. So there's some of the monsters.
Yep.
They're not all monsters though.
Next week we might paint some of the
heroes. Yeah.
and then back to some foes.
And then back to the
some
foes,
heroes.
and then back to heroes.
Back and forth.
Right. Well, the one that just passed is the hunter, and then the one that is holding is the two swords is the berserker.
Berserker.
So there are some really amazing models in here. Bardsung is by Steamforged Games, so if anyone is familiar with Steamforged Games, like model quality and also their like fantasy kind of, they're always doing different IPs that are kind of, I don't know, bridging the gap of like fantasy, sci-fi, that type of thing.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of great things. So I think the one that we've painted most on stream has been the Epic Encounters.
Yes.
Stuff. So all the Epic
Yes.
Encounters box sets for D&D 5e. So Bardsung, you were telling me earlier, Bardsung isn't based on anything. It's
Correct.
not based on a video game like a lot of their other games. It's not based on D&D. But it's a kind of an RPG light.
Yeah.
It's like an adventure.
Yeah, it's an
board game.
adventure story board game. So
So
you
it's
will
like-
encounter monsters and
So it's kind of
that
collaborative.
kind of thing. Yeah,
Or it's
it is.
one against many. Or
Yeah.
many against one.
So it is a cooperative game, and you can play 1 to 5 players, which
1 to
is
5.
nice.
Oh,
So
cool. Excellent.
you can have all your heroes being played on the board. And I wonder if you kind of have to. I mean, I haven't played through the entire
Yep.
the game, but some games they say 1 to 5, but you might want to have 5 players.
5 players at some time.
But you are one player that's playing all of them.
5 characters.
5 characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
You can only survive this if you have
Yeah.
5 characters of level 20 or higher.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they also had Guild Ball, so.
Yes, this is true. They Guild Ball.
And Jason, hello, welcome. And also he said it looks like an updated Rust monster, which is exactly what Dave said.
You know, so
Before
is this
the-
one called Ferris Moore? And I went, Rust Monster.
Yeah.
So, yes, should be fun. I'm going to paint up that one today. I'm going to paint
You're
up the
going to
Ferris
paint
Moore.
up the Ferris Mall.
Yep,
Nice.
cool. I will also say Steamforged have God Tier.
Ah, yeah,
Is
yeah,
another
yeah.
one of their- That's again, miniatures board game
Yep.
kind of thing. It's an arena.
They did
movie game.
Horizon
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn as well.
Yep.
Which again, that's what I mean by like fantasy, sci-fi.
Yep.
Oh, I guess I should wait to.
Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, they did
Resident
Dark
Evil
Souls.
2.
Yep.
I think they've just done Resident Evil.
Yeah. I have a friend that's getting the Resident Evil game. Yeah. I've heard it's really hard. Like, just like the video game, they made the board game extremely difficult,
Right.
which is fun.
And not like the movie, which is just extremely difficult to watch. It is super easy to watch. You can switch your brain off, and it just happens. I actually do enjoy the Resident Evil
That's really funny.
movie franchise. But it's good. I can't follow it all because I haven't played any of the games, but
Right.
it's all good.
Welcome to everybody who's in the chat. Thanks for joining. Shout out to JT, Jeff, Mel, Jason, Sean, more Jason and Sean. And for everyone else who is watching, we appreciate you, and let us know that you are watching. Say hello to us.
Thanks,
I'm going to move to our overhead cameras. And this little guy, my camera.
You okay?
My camera, I need to adjust, so just give me a second,
Sure.
everybody.
I'm going to take that second.
Because the only thing is that with this game being so huge, the camera angle that I have for it, this right now is not conducive to an unboxing.
But I'm just quickly, I'm going to show folks the Ferris Moore card.
Oh, nice.
There we go. No, there we go. It's tough because after all those years of messing around with it being like reversed, getting it right. Now it's the right way, and it's like now I have to retrain my brain again. So there we go. Ferris Moore. You can see that the model's got all sorts of, or the artwork's got all sorts of great colors in there. There's greens, there's browns, there's purples, there's orange, there's grays.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna mess around with that kind of more painterly approach. I
Cool.
think. Do something that's because I really like that art. That's great.
The
something like that.
Yeah, before the show started, I had actually picked Ferris Small, but these are some of the pieces that are part of the game. These are all for your heroes and different things. And then they like a dungeon crawler. They have the tiles that you move into
Right. Yep.
as you advance throughout the game. So,
Do you know if it's is it a series of set tile layouts, or is it like each time you go through it's random? You're not sure about that?
I don't know the answer to that question. I'm sorry, Dave.
I will ask that question again next week.
Yeah. Yeah. So it has
It could go either way.
so many minis. What's kind of cool is they have these player pieces. These player containers.
Okay.
So that you can put all your pieces in and little cards.
Excellent.
And then keep track between each adventure and game.
That's cool.
Oh, hello to James. Thanks for joining. And Bratanot as well.
Cool.
And hello to
Howdy.
Ashlyn. No painting tonight. Shooting product photos in studio with y'all as background enjoyment. Oh, very cool. That's exciting.
Nice.
We also have some more piece containers. And really incredible wings for the monster that I will show shortly.
No way.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, we could paint the really huge one, and then I'm like, I don't even know if you could finish those in 4 weeks.
I think we did, with the correct preparation, I think.
Okay, that's
that
fair.
wouldn't be too tough.
That's fair. Let me move the camera down because we are not getting Dave.
Yeah. Oh,
Let me see.
Oh, not getting what I'm painting?
Yeah, we're not getting the painting.
Okay, that's not good.
But it's just because
Manual adjustment.
we have to manually adjust.
There we go. Oh, we're going to be there in a minute. Bingo. Nope.
Let me brighten it up a little bit too, because it's hard to see that dark.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it like the palette a little overexposed. Sorry, everybody.
That's okay. That's okay. It's just right in the middle of that awkward spot, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Cool. There we go. So yeah, with this, I'm just hitting it with a base coat of charred brown. Shouldn't be surprising to anybody, but that's going to be a great one to start layering up all of the other colors on top of.
Oh, nice. Yeah. All the little items that you can pick up, including an aquamarine stone, a
Nice.
sun shield. I'm sure there's more.
I was going to say the aquamarine
underneath.
stone is an odd choice to have it on the top of the deck.
Yeah. And a green herb. A green herb, weeds to the foolish, but treasured by the wise for their restorative qualities. Heal a wound on this hero or another hero in the same or adjacent zone. Very cool. The only tile laying game that I've played is Mansions of Madness.
Okay.
Which I have talked about on this show before.
Yep.
I personally really love Mansions of Madness, so this seems like a whole different theme, but very similar in some of its playability and kind of the moving through the game and who are the things you're gonna fight. That type of thing. So there's how many? I feel like there should be a number somewhere, but I moved the
How many?
I think there's
Moles?
144. Yeah.
How many?
I don't know if that's true. I said 144, but I don't think that's true.
Oh my goodness, that's a gross.
Okay, 68 highly detailed plastic miniatures, 32 different enemy models, 5 unique heroes, and over 900 cards. So there's a lot going on in this game.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say 62 detailed models, highly detailed models, 34 not so detailed models, and 7 that are just terrible.
Less detailed.
Less detailed.
And then there's this lady.
I'm glad you didn't go down the path.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I've got one of those trays at home. I'll bring
Very
next
huge
week.
boards that I can't open up, and even if I did, you wouldn't be able to see them
On camera.
Some of the monster cards: the Butcher, Tamed Spider, Brigand Tamer. I don't know if that's how you say that word. Brgand.
Brigand.
Brigand Tamer, Brute Herder,
Brigand.
Reaver,
Yeah.
Veteran Raider, Miner, Sniper. So this is all of them. And it was funny when I was flipping through them earlier because we have some Exiled, Kingsguard, Flame, Arcanist, and then later on you have possessed versions of these monsters. Possessed Kingsguard, Demonic Shagno Fragment, and I was like, wow, there's a lot going on in this.
There is a lot going on.
And they look very difficult to fight. That's all I was thinking is oh man, there's a lot of monsters in this game. So many monsters. So many monsters. And here's the adventure book that shows you all the stuff. Different chapters, and it starts the first chapter, well, besides learning how to play the game. Chapter 1, Adventure Begins. Yeah, Chapter 1, The Outer Ruins. Very nice. The dusty track begins to slope underfoot as you draw closer to the ancient forge. Are you ready? I won't read anymore because, you should get the game, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I can see the whole story arc from here. Next week, you can read some more.
Yeah, next week we can read some more crazy monsters.
That's good. I was just say, Jason said, I remember when I was really young before D&D existed, and I had a plastic rust monster toy. Decades later, I was like, oh my god, that was a rust monster. I had that exact same toy. Well, not the one that I had the same toy.
You had the same toy?
Yep.
That's
the rust
cool.
monster. Before I knew it was a rust monster.
Rust monster.
It was a very, very distinctive toy. I think everybody who had it probably remembers it.
So here's the demon that's going to get wings. Here's the demon that's going to get wings.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That is huge.
And then the wings attach. Like so.
And they're kind of separate so that you can...
Yeah, the wings are separate.
So you can take them out and pack them back in the box.
Yep.
That is cool. I mean, that's one of the great things about all of those organizers. Is it means you can put everything back in its place and it all goes back in the box.
Look at his back. Woo! Big back. And he actually has he has 4 arms. So he has 2 on each side.
Is he forewarned? Sorry.
Like little face right there. But yeah, so everything does actually fit, even though it's a huge box. Things do fit all in the box.
Yep.
Nicely. And they can get easily packed away.
Yep. Pop it back on your shelf and you're good to go next time around.
And so that is quite nice.
That's well planned by Steamforged there. Have I moved again? Still wobbling.
It's just because the clamps that I have on this side are not doing what I want them to do.
I find clamps rarely do what I want them to do.
There we go. That's actually much better.
Okay, let's go with that. Okay, so what I'm doing here, just building up some of the coloration. Oh, I forgot to turn it upside down. On top there, so the brown. I'm taking that charred brown, mixing in some beige brown and some desert yellow to start building that up.
Yeah, because you might not be able to see it on the card exactly, but which way? Sorry for the scraping. The picture that Dave has is there's a lot of colors on top of the guy, so
yeah.
He has like blues and there's even some red, but the base is brownish.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. I mean, the brown will work as a base for all of the colors on there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a good starting point.
Nice.
And he's got lots of texture on here as well. So that little bumpy texture, which isn't shown in the artwork, interesting enough. So I'm just going to be building up over that and doing a bit of stippling. So you can see I'm just sort of dabbing the brush around. I mentioned to the owner that I was going to do this in sort of a bit more of a painterly fashion. So I'm not really too worried about exactly where my brush strokes are going or how smooth they're going to be. I'm just sort of working to fill out those volumes and areas.
Gotcha. Looks good. What is the yellow you're using? What yellow are you using?
Desert yellow.
Desert yellow.
Desert
okay.
yellow. So it's a nice sort of desaturated. It's not too crazy. I'm going to put out some pale grey or some light grey on my palette. I'm going to put a little bit of white as well. I always let people know I'm using the Exemplar wet palette that I showed off last week.
Oh yeah.
From Game Envy. Now, after last week, actually during last week's show, I was getting a little bit of curling up at the corners of the palette
okay.
paper. So the next day, I thought, I'm going to get in touch with Kit via the website, send her a quick, hey, I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? I've done it the way that I usually do for my Redgrass Games palette, and
Right.
it's not
working.
doing this. This is the result I'm getting. He was like, yeah, see, our palette paper is a bit thicker, so you need to soak it differently.
Oh,
and soak it a
okay.
little bit longer.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, no, so when you put the paper on, it's going to curl up, and then after like 10 seconds, it's going to roll back out and lay flat. And it's like, I don't think so. It rolled up, and 10 seconds later, it rolled out flat, and I was like, oh my God, it did it. And yeah, so that palette paper that I put on On Friday of
Okay.
last week, I used all the way up until today.
Oh,
About
nice.
4 o'clock today, I took it off so that I can have a clean palette paper
Nice.
for tonight. And one of the things you can see on there as well is that the paint is doing a pretty good job of staying in one place. It's not spreading out like I
Right.
was getting with the Red Grass Games palette,
Right.
which is really nice. So I can get a lot more colors on, and I've got a lot more space to do my mixing. So yeah, I'm enjoying it for sure.
Awesome. It's interesting how palette paper makes a difference,
Yeah, yeah.
or quality thereof. I don't know.
Or just it's just different types. I think. I heard,
Yeah, sorry, it's not quality. It's just.
Yeah, yeah. It's just you got to work with a different way. But I guess with the because you want a paper that lets the moisture through, but not too much moisture through, but just enough, but not too much. You want the Goldilocks of papers.
Just right.
Just right.
Jason asks, but does it come with cup holders? Your palette.
Palette doesn't come with cup holders, but
Oh, it does come with like a that's like for washes, right?
for washes, yeah. So
Yeah.
it does come with cups.
Teeny tiny itty bitty cups.
Yes, don't drink out of them.
We do not recommend.
No. that would be
Neither
silly.
does the company.
Yeah, neither does Game Movie.
Yeah, Game MV does not sponsor that. Does not recommend. Also, hello to Josh Potter. Thanks
Cool,
for
hey
watching.
Josh. Ahoy.
Ahoy, mateys. Alright, so I'll put it on the double camera, even though I do not feel confident
You got it.
in myself
Go
at
for it.
all.
Go for it.
So I'm painting up the Stalking Reaper, which I personally really, really like this miniature. I think it's very dynamic. And it's essentially a robot-looking guy who is hovering over his last kill.
Right.
And he kind of has his arm out, and then the swinging
chain.
claw chain. Anyway, I just thought this was a very cool miniature, and I am impressed with the variety of the minis. So a lot of the monsters, or foes, I should say, because they're not just monsters. That's the kind of cool thing. They do all feel very different, which is...
They're all monsters at heart.
They're all monsters at heart, but some are more foes than monster. Like, do you call a robot a monster? That's what I'm wondering.
Is he fighting with me? Is he fighting against me?
That's the difference.
Yeah.
There's no like fine line. Not fine line, but like differentiation. Like, to me, a monster is a little
Like
different.
you took it flesh and blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or something. I'm not sure. With that, I do have a question for us.
Yep.
Maybe our question of the week.
Question of the week. Wait for it.
Hey. And we're back.
There we go. Question of the week.
My question of the week is, how do you approach painting miniatures for board games? And
Okay.
what techniques? Oh wait. Oh, this isn't.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, here the tip of the week and the question of the week need to be changed.
Okay.
How to paint board game miniatures and like what's the best approach?
Best
because-
for painting board game minis.
In terms of, they are a little bit different than painting an army, right?
Well, they can be exactly the same as painting an army.
Okay.
So it really depends on the board game, but typically, I guess most board games that would think about having a lot of minis would have heroes against monsters or foes.
Right.
If you want to use that word. Let's go ahead and use that word. So, just like painting an army, you probably want to paint the heroes or the characters like you would paint your army leaders.
Okay.
So you're going to take a little bit of extra time and care and paint them up. They might be individuals, so you get different individual color schemes for all of them. And you can use them in the same way that you might use characters in an army painting sort of situation where you use them as a like a reward. So a lot of people, when they paint armies, they'll paint up a unit, and each unit they paint, or each vehicle or squadron of vehicles, that kind of thing, they'll paint a character for their army as
okay,
as
right.
the reward, because you can spend a little bit more time, you can be a little bit more relaxed,
right.
sort of lavish a little bit more attention on them. Whereas units of models, with like 10 models, 20 models, 30 models, or whatever, you want to paint those fairly straightforwardly, fairly quickly, so you can get them onto the table. So the same could be said for the monsters or foes in a board game. So what I'd suggest is groupings. Work out what your groupings are. So I know for example, there were some that I painted up a couple of weeks ago that we showed. There was the Brute and the Captain and some of the other Reavers, I think they were called.
Right.
So working out what your groupings are so that you can go through and paint things in a production line sort of approach.
Right.
For those large numbers of models. So you could do it that way and then save your special models. So I'm sure there's only one Ferris Moore.
Right.
In that, so that might be a reward for painting up the 10 readers or whatever it might be. So that's a great way to sort of work your way through them. You might find that the group of heroes or characters or whatever is all they all have some sort of similarity, something bring them together. So for like Lord of the Rings, for example, you might want to paint all of the hobbits at the same time.
Oh, right.
You might want to paint Boromir and Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli at the same time. Because you've got some similarities that you can work on each of the, use some of those colors at the same time. So when you put your green
to kind of help give them, when you put them on the table, they kind of
there's a connectedness.
Feel like a group. And in general, that's how you'll play with them. Yeah.
I know for the Fellowship of the Ring, it's a lot easier after they've been through and they've met Galadriel. Right. Because then they've all got their cloaks. And those cloaks are a great thing to tie everybody together.
Hey, everybody wear a cloak.
It's a cloak, everybody. So you look like squad.
That's what the author was thinking. That's what Tolkien was thinking when he was writing.
How can I make these dudes look like a squad? But no, I mean it's a very clear thing. You check out the films.
No, but you're right. That is true. I didn't even think that.
That sort of feature. So break them up into groups. Work out what those groups are. Work out if you're the kind of person who wants to have that reward, or if it doesn't matter, that's fine too. But yeah, into chunks where you can feel that you can see progress is the key thing. To get you going through all of it. So what do we say, 62 miniatures, 64 miniatures?
Yeah, 68.
68 miniatures. Oh my god, it keeps growing.
Plus, that doesn't include the heroes.
The heroes as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you sure there are no more?
Yeah.
Okay. So split it up into groups, like 10, and then work your way through, get those done. And one other thing that I would suggest, personally, I like to have all my unpainted miniatures on one side and all my painted miniatures on the other side.
Okay.
Kind of thing, so you can see that them moving across. Some people don't like to see all those unpainted miniatures, so you can put those away and then just pull them out as you're ready to go.
Right.
As you're ready to paint them. So pull them out, stick them there, start painting. And that way you just see the growing pile of painted miniatures, which can be very helpful for your the psychology, I guess.
I was going to say your mental,
process.
like the mental game behind painting.
Yeah, exactly. The mental game behind it. Okay. So I'm going to say, just talking about this one at the moment, I have mixed in some coal black with the charred brown to start sort of blending that down into the sides of those armor plates and also in the lower parts of the legs. And then down around the bottom of those armor plates, I'm just going with like straight coal black. The coal black's got that sort of greenish bluish color, so it's a great
nice.
sort of base for. Let's see on the Ferris Moore card, we've got some greens going on there. So now I can start to mix in some green colors there. I'm going to use some desaturated stuff. So some Lauren Forest Citadel. I'm just going to start to blend that in. So it's desaturated, it's got some grey in the Lauren Forest there, but it's still quite bright, but it mixes very well with that, with the coal black. That's the word I was looking for, or the words. So I can start to then put these, just dab these along the lower part.
Yeah, they both have a very similar, like on a paint chart, they would be kind of close to each other, or along the same like light.
Right. Yep.
Variation. So it makes sense that they will mix well. They won't throw the color too out of whack.
Yeah, exactly. They, yes, yeah, they keep that nice saturation there. So we see that starting to
Nice.
come up. So I'm going to do that same thing on the legs.
Jason says the Reaper that I showed earlier looks like a fantasy Grievous.
He does have that Grievous kind of look to him, that faceplate.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And then Josh says these are Steamforged versions of the Warforged and a Rust Monster. We were just talking about the Rust Monster.
Pretty much. Now, Josh, if anybody had this when they were a kid, it was going to be Josh. Did you have a plastic Rust Monster that came out of one of those like bags or tubes of crazy sort of fantasy monsters when you were a kid?
Did you or did you not?
I think we already know that Jason had one. I had one.
Step 1, lose game. Step 2, flip table. Step 3, lose minis. Problem solved. In terms of painting your board game minis. Right. Step 4, adopt a cat to carry off figures to unknown parts.
Yes.
Then you never have to paint another miniature again. That's not the point, guys.
The point is
That's
to
not
paint
the point.
because you're having fun.
Yeah. Because you want them to have... And I have to say, painting, the one adventure game I've played, Mansions of Madness. Have I talked about it before?
You have mentioned it. I think so. I think you mentioned
Just
it last
maybe
Halloween,
once.
right?
Yeah, just maybe once. Sorry, I keep joking about it because I feel like I talk about it a lot. I really enjoyed the game. That's why I keep talking about it. And they have miniatures in the game. And one of the things that I had really wished I had done was paint the miniatures because I felt like it would have brought a little bit more to the game. Because basically my siblings and I played the game and we ended up just not using the miniatures at all because it was kind of a waste of time to put them out.
Okay. Did you use like standees? Or
yeah, we just used tokens
Right.
to show where they were. But if we had the big Cthulhu painted, that would have been really cool. Like, that would have felt a little bit more, like, impressive. So that's all to say, like, within this game, I believe that spending time painting the miniatures will really pay off in your playthrough
Sure.
of the game. I don't think you necessarily have to, but I highly recommend as someone. If I had this game, I would do that.
Sure.
I would take the time to paint them before.
Yeah.
Knowing that it would really increase my enjoyment in terms of like where the storyline goes and who you're encountering.
Yeah. I think that would be good. Okay, I'm going to pop open some Elysian Green. Yeah. Just to get a little bit more contrast on that, on those edges there. Please note this is on a slavish like reproduction of the art card, but this is me just going off script. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm hoping that at the end it's going to look just fine.
Me too.
Fingers crossed.
Me
But
too. So
yes.
those of you who are watching, what have you all been painting recently? Any current projects or things that you hope to paint, will be painting soon? That kind of thing. We'd love to know.
Since my return from Depticon, I think it might have been, I can't remember if I mentioned it last week, but not at Depticon, of course I mentioned that, but
Yeah.
that I have been inspired to like finish off painting things that have been sitting on my shelf for a while.
Yeah.
So I think I might have showed the Orlok gangers that I painted for Necromunda.
Yep.
And I've been painting a lot of the of my Horus Heresy Death Guard army. That's been sitting on my shelf for a long time.
And how have you been? How's your progress with those?
Good. Yeah, it's been going well. There have been a few things where I've been like, what can I do with these guys? What can I do with this squad? I can put that. Oh. I was like, check with some friends. Hey, do you have any of this weapon or that weapon? Yeah.
Oh, so you've been doing some kit bashing.
Some kit bashing, yeah. And also just things where I had like a breacher squad. Breacher squad is a whole bunch of guys with like big boarding shields, and normally they have like bolt guns that they rest over the top and they
Right.
sort of run forward, very SWAT style.
Yeah.
But I found out they could have different weapons. They didn't just have to have the bolt gun sitting over there.
Oh.
They could have this thing called a volcanic charger. So it's like, hey, does anybody have any of these? I've got like
very
4 of them, but I
cool.
need 3 more.
You can't just give them a long, like a pike staff.
I probably could give some of them like that, but I'll do that for my like 3rd squad of breaches.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you end up having to paint that.
Yes.
When you get to that.
Yeah.
No rush.
But it's been it's been fun sort of messing around with those. That's what I've been working on. And it's also nice because it's I guess clearing some space on the shelf
Oh yeah.
from on the
Shelf of opportunity.
shelf of opportunity. Well, I think it basically became so full of opportunity that I had to move the standard shelf of opportunity to like the desk corner of opportunity.
Okay. It was an overflowing opportunity.
Yeah.
Your shelf of opportunity was overflowing to the
Yes.
desk.
Exactly. So I needed to sort of clear it so I could return it to a reasonable state of opportunity.
That's funny. Reasonable opportunity now. This is reasonable opportunity. Jeff Halbrook says, in terms of talking about board game minis, says, personally, I think about how the painted minis will affect gameplay or mechanisms that might be affected by the paint scheme. So ensuring that I don't make it more difficult to play it should enhance the play and not detract from it.
Yep.
That's a really good point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jason says, I've been working on building some front terrain pieces, so my world is Tudor tans and browns.
Right.
Nice.
Some building front terrain pieces. Cool. Nice.
Oh, building front terrain pieces. Sorry.
Yeah.
I flipped those words around.
That's cool.
As it warms up, James will be starting to build big ships again. Nice.
Nice. Good job.
Hi, Betsy. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. You've been playing with your 3D printer and prepping Bardsung minis. Nice. So no painting for me in the last week. Yep. That makes sense.
We've got Bardsung minis for the next 4 weeks.
Yes.
You need to paint some soon, Betsy, so that we can see them in the miniature showcase.
So we ended up picking the Ferris Maw and the Reaper. Those were the two that the two foes that we ended up picking. So, yes, very excited. And I was mentioning Betsy before, at the beginning of the show, I did a little bit of an unboxing, and I was just talking about how the monsters look, there are many of them, and they look difficult. So I just was like, whoa, this is going to be a challenge to get through some of these dungeons or, some of these campaigns that they have.
Yeah.
Sean finished up the Beastmen. Yes. And I believe Sean did put a picture in the group, which was awesome to see. And he also just started on the Caradron Overlords.
Okay, cool.
Thundrix.
Thundrix Profiteers.
Profiteers for Underworlds.
Excellent.
Yes.
Josh finished a tree dude within a 2-hour stream.
Oh,
Based
nice.
on all.
That's
Very
awesome.
Cool. How big was this tree dude? How tall? Could be this tall. That tall. Could be that tall. How tall it is going to determine how impressed I am.
Nice. So Betsy says they just keep coming. Yes. And you're in the early chapters, and there are a lot of brigands. Brigands,
yep.
Yeah, okay. Nice, yeah. Some good stuff. Oh, what's the hero that you ended up choosing, Betsy? So Betsy has a copy of the game. Right. And the heroes, the hero opciones.
Unfortunately, we can't show you because I've got the heroes.
Yeah, Dave has the other herours. I forgot to tell him to bring them, so it's my fault. So there's Stoneheart, who looks like a dwarf. There's Dawnguard, Lightweaver, Nightfeather, and Wildshell. Well, that's cool. Wildshell is like a mystical turtle.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's great. It's like, has turtle hands.
Right.
And tortoise feet.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool.
Yep. I think that's a turtle.
A turtle.
Tortellini. That's a little bit drunk. It's staggering.
Betsy is playing Lightweaver and Nightfeather. Very cool. Tim is playing Stoneheart and Pathfinder. He's from the Fables expansion. Oh, when you get the expansions. So yeah, Steamforged just sent us the base game, which in itself is a huge game, but just not all the cool expansions.
That's okay.
Is it a Teenage Mutant Mystical Turtle? That's for you to decide. I said that's for you to decide.
Exactly. I don't know. I think it's difficult to determine age.
Yep.
Really.
I think in general the turtles or tortoise or whatever, they're pretty old. Like whenever you see them in fantasy,
they're like it's one of those things they can be.
They're like the aged.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and have a look and see if there's any pizza. That would be the dead giveaway.
And if they say, like, what was they don't say, like, cowabunga, but they say something like that where it's like, rad.
Right. Yes, or any other 90s.
Apparently someone did paint it with all the TMNT colors on accident.
Oh, nice. I don't know how accidental that was, Betsy. That sounds like a deliberate choice.
How does it play? Is one player an overlord, or is there an AI to control the monster? So my understanding of the game is that the game has an AI that controls the monster, and there's certain things that the monster is allowed to do within their game space, because the players within the game are cooperative players trying to beat the different campaigns. Yeah.
Try to beat the AI.
Trying to beat the AI.
Taking it down. That's good. That's the thing that allows you to have, I guess, one player, isn't it?
Yep.
And
yep. So that you are essentially playing against the game.
Yep. And it means that it is truly cooperative.
Yes. Which there is something nice about that. You're all cooperatively dying. That's what happens in some of the adventure cooperative games. You're like, wow, I'm so glad everyone's on my team, except we're all dying. So how great is that? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's looking really nice.
It's kind of crazy that, like, it's almost to the point where I could say, done.
Okay, cool.
But,
you pick up the hunter.
Hey. I was just going to go home. I was going to be done and, like, I'm going to go home now. No, there's a little bit more to do. I want to have some, like, cool acid coming out of his mouth.
Oh, you can always show us, if you want, before you put on the acid, like, what you're, like, put him on the spinner if you want.
Yeah,
for us to
I'll
see.
do that. Yeah.
Like what it's gonna look like before the acid. So my guy, he has a mixture of like metals on his art card. So I decided to simplify it a little bit.
Okay.
And just paint all the metals this bright silver.
Right.
Because then I'm going to go through, which I guess the reason they're different colors is because he's a reaper. And so he's taking...
Right.
I think he's supposed to be, like, taking some of these things from other people.
That makes sense.
But I am going to go back over... Right now I mixed up heavy blue with some black. And I'm putting that in his wires. He has, like, these wire muscles underneath the metal plating. And then I'll go back in and do, like, just a wash to kind of uniform it.
Yep.
Uniform it all, and then add the highlights to change up the metal a little bit.
Okay, that's cool.
It was a little too many colors for me.
Right.
I'm like, trying to make him a little more uniform than the art.
That's good.
Just because I don't think my brain can handle.
Do you know if he's the only one of...
He is the only one, yeah. He's the only one that's stalking, so the one that looks like this miniature, so he doesn't have any repeating friends. Oh, hi, Jeff. How are you? Jeff Hall.
Hey, Jeff.
He's in the chat.
Welcome. We are painting Bardsung. These minis are really cool.
Dave is painting up the Ferris Mall. And I'm painting up the Stalking Reaper. If this enemy is attacked after resolving the attack, flip this card. If there are no other enemies in the marching order, flip this card. And then he turns into a more difficult version of himself.
Right. You thought you were in trouble before.
You killed me once. I'll be back. This enemy ignores the effects of the first attack that hits each round. If this enemy is defeated, retrieve card blah blah from the challenge aspect vault. Okay, cool. But still, you have to hit him twice. That's rough.
Okay.
What's fun about adventure style games is that they're great. One, if you have like people who you like to play games with a lot. But like instead of getting together and like watching a movie, you can like get together and play this game because it has a very, I mean, obviously it's playing a game, but because of the storytelling aspect of it, it feels kind of like that where you're like building a story.
You're talking about like having a cinematic feel or a...
Yes, yeah.
I guess just storytelling quality.
Yeah. And with the miniatures, and because you don't have to, no one has to be the game master, the burden, everybody can be involved. And that's what I like about these put together games. Because I know some people will be like, oh, well, just play D&D. But the problem about playing D&D is someone has to be the game master or the dungeon master or whatever. And you have to like know a lot. And what's cool about the game is that everybody can play and be part of it.
So everybody can be...
an active player.
The Dread Pirate Wesley. And nobody has to be like Prince Humperdinck. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Nobody has to be the grandfather reading the story.
Oh, right.
That's really... Nobody has to be...
What if I want to be Columbo?
And it's kind of choose your own adventure too. Yeah. So part of the reason there's so many cards and things like that is that there are different options.
Right.
For when you play, like you can do different things. And after the opening story, we ended up starting on chapter 2 because of the path we chose to take. Very cool. I like Castle Ravenloft and Arkham Horror. I have the Scooby-Doo versions of Mansions of Madness. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, that came out like a couple years ago, and I really want to get that one. And they also have Scooby-Doo miniatures with it.
Wait. This game
Mansions
that you
of
love.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
There's another version of it. It's Scooby-Doo, and you want to get that one.
Scooby-Doo, and I want to get that one.
What does baffled mean? Okay. Just quickly. Time we got as well. Ooh, 7:55.
Oh, almost time
ready.
for... Oh, are you going to pop them on the
I should
spinner?
pop 'em on
Sorry.
the spinner.
Whoops.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't race ahead, did you?
Oh. There we go. Let me see if I can get it a little bit more zoomy.
There we go.
Does that get a little better? There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow, he's looking awesome.
I'm pretty excited about it.
That's really awesome. So the base coat was
Charred brown
with the...
That just like charred brown over everything.
Right. And then
Then-
the lighter brown.
Yeah, just working up some beige brown.
Cool.
Beige brown, desert yellow.
Right, it was the desert yellow. That's the
Yep.
light part. Nice.
And then I mixed a little bit of white into the desert yellow as well for those top ridges. Then I blended it down to through the charred brown into coal black.
Okay.
Because I'm super excited I've got coal black again. Thank you, Jeff. And then into the coal black, I mixed some Lauren Forest, GW, and then some Elysian green. And then some of those, the edges and some of those scratches, I guess, highlights through there are light gray.
Oh, okay.
From Vallejo. So along the edges of the armor plates and so on. Now on the legs, I didn't put as much. I don't think I put any Elysian green in there.
It's all the blue.
Yeah, it's the sort of the. I put a little bit of the Lauren Forest. So that's the. When we get back to the. So here we go. I'll put it next to there. That's the Lauren Forest. And you see the Elysian green is a lot more yellow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a little bit of that on the legs, not too much. And then I brought that through on the underside of the tail. But as I said, just done it nice and quickly. Snapping around. It's not refined at all. You could probably go through and do some glazes with some different colours to tie everything together.
Gotcha.
I think it would probably look neat with a little bit of purple actually through that mid-range there between
okay.
I'm kind of seeing a little bit of it on the camera, but I think that's really this purple tint in the charred brown.
Right.
So I probably could have put that underneath before I put the green into it, which could have been interesting. But I think this will work. Maybe a little bit of a purple wash underneath those armor plates might be a good spot to do it. But yeah, and then I've got just quickly painted that sword with a silver blade and gold hilt and pommel.
There was a sword? Oh, he's holding his sword?
He's sort of standing on it.
Oh, he's standing on a sword. Okay.
So he's sort of as if he's eating it away. So I'm going to use some moot green.
There it is. There's the sword. Sad day.
Use some of the moot green, which is a really vile sort of acidic green.
So that's what you're going to use for slime?
Yeah, I'm going to use some around the mouth and then down onto the sword. And I'm probably, on the card, it shows some sort of dripping from this tail.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, like he almost...
Yep. Basically, it'll get you whichever end it comes at you with.
Oh, that'll look great. Jason asks, do you paint the underside of a mini like that?
That's a good question. Yeah, you can cheat. Then what did I do? I didn't actually.
I feel like you painted some, but not all.
I just kind of painted it the charred brown as far as I could get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't really see right underneath it, so yeah, why bother trying?
Yeah, and the minis do come attached to the base, so that wasn't like a decision where like I put that on there.
You could trim it off if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to.
Yeah.
And also you're going to be looking at it from this sort of angle.
Right.
It's on the table. There's even less you have to paint.
Yeah, I like how you pull the color down on the tail far enough that like it has the illusion of the shadow.
Yeah.
But
you just imagine.
In general, light doesn't exist in shadow, so it's your eye and your brain are okay with the.
No, exactly.
If there isn't any color underneath there. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Okay.
Let me pull us back to here.
There we go. Oh, so just pop them back in the holder for a sec.
And Betsy was saying, I was thinking of making his shell some iridescent color, but I really like the way this looks. Thank you, Betsy.
Yeah.
I agree. Dave's looks great.
I think iridescent would look cool. It would give a bit more of a bug kind of feel, like a scorpion.
Right.
Kind of feel. It's got that scorpion look. So I think that could be cool. I went for this because I was sort of following along with the artwork, but also I think this could work as camouflage in a dungeon.
Oh, that's
that
true.
Sort of grayish, brownish stone with that mossy look around the edges of it. You can imagine this sort of sitting in a trash heap somewhere.
And then he's just like...
waiting for tin cans to be thrown into it. So,
and then he comes back and he's like, here I am.
Yeah.
I'm destroying everything.
So... But yeah, I'd be very very keen to see it done in iridescent colours.
And I think you could definitely push it into like the poisonous. The iridescent could help you push it into that like poisonous realm.
Just sort of going to dab this around in a few areas that are. This is a nice and bright colour. You want to put it next to a lot of darker areas. This coming out of his the mouth there. Can't quite see it, but you want to have it dripping down onto the sword blade there. And put a few drops onto the base as well.
My guy has like this cloth tabard. I don't know if that's the right word for it. But it's like the skirt, but it hangs in the front and the back.
Yep. Tabard's a good word for that.
Tabard is a good word? Okay.
Yep.
He has a tabard. In the picture, it's actually green. So I'm going to be painting that green before I dump my wash.
Right.
Except maybe I shouldn't do the wash. Because then I'll have to wait for it to dry. But actually, if I do it before... Okay, it's 8:03. Ah!
You can do it the other.
Okay, I'm gonna run and do this wash.
Do the wash. Then we'll look at the miniature showcase.
Yes.
That'll be all good.
Okay.
But if you want to switch back just quickly to the
Yes.
spinner, you can see where it is. Well, oh, come on. Curses. It'll come around in a second. That vibrant green is there. There we go. You can start to see it up the top, and yep, then from the mouth there, dripping down. And what I'll probably do is, oh, did I bring it with me? I did. I brought some gloss varnish. I will throw that on top of it, because that'll give it another good contrast there. That gloss versus the sort of matte of the black of the base. I have that. A few areas there on the base to touch up as well, so we get the black out for that. Cool. Oh, Sean has introduced another question of the week. Who's excited that the squats are back? Now, for those who don't know, last Friday, on April Fool's Day, Games Workshop released a great sort of cinematic trailer, as they want to do nowadays. Fantastic piece. I was looking through it and I was thinking, oh wow, is this going to be the return of Battlefleet Gothic, which is a sort of space combat game? But then at the end, like the last, so there was a minute of this fantastic animation of this sort of drifting ship and
Right.
another ship coming towards it and looked like it was docking and that kind of thing. And the last 10 seconds were a little bit of a joke, like this little silhouette of a squat.
Yeah.
Space dwarves.
Okay.
And somebody saying like basically like, it feels good to be back kind of thing. And I was like, well, it's April 1st. This is obviously April Fool's. That's what all it is. But it sent the internet, at least the Games Workshop internet, into a huge tizzy
yeah.
about whether it was real, how they were going to hate Games Workshop if it wasn't real, how even though it was on April 1st, they were going to hate Games Workshop if it wasn't real. And I was like, it's not real. And people were like, well, they put all that, there's so much money to spend on all of that animation. And I was like, well, I bet you they're going to use that somewhere else. And
yeah,
not like that's the only animation project they're doing.
yeah.
So I was totally convinced that it was
not. And
they're like, the whole bunch of people, a lot of my friends included, were like, they're double bluffing. And so on Friday night, when I was talking to some of them, like when I was like, oh, I bet you that it's going to happen. And I'm like, it is so not going to happen. If it happens in the next 12 months, I will paint you a kill team of squats. And of course, the next day, Games Workshop says, it wasn't a joke. Here's like what they're going to look like. And so I had to say, hey, they got me.
Yeah.
Completely fooled by the double bluff. And Brian started thinking of your color scheme. I would be only too happy to paint you a kill team of dudes.
That's so funny.
So, I'm excited. Very excited. I didn't have a squad army back in the day. I'm excited for the Leagues of Votan, which is what they're calling them now. But they do look very cool. It's some very interesting technology. It's going to be fun to see how they splice them back into the background and how they play
I
as
should
an
have
army.
pulled the meme that I saw about the squat army.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it's like, I feel like I could pull it up, but I don't know where it would be.
That's fine. You've got plenty of work to do.
They basically the person there's a train and there's a bus crossing.
Oh right. Yeah.
There's a bus crossing the train tracks, and on the bus it says like new Star Wars Legion armies that came out, miniatures that have recently released, and then on the train it says this for the squats, and then in the next frame the train just has obliterated the bus
Straight through. Yeah. I did see that one.
That was really funny.
But yeah, totally that. So Sean, great question. The answer is,
Yes,
I'm super excited.
And I figured, and then I and then I figured more out about it, and I was like, wow, that's actually really funny that they did that.
The thing is, it's not the first time that they've joked about
really?
the squats back on April Fools. And they always talk about the
This time it was real.
Resetting the clock as soon as somebody mentions I asked that question, when are you bringing back the squats?
Yeah.
Reset the clock. But this time they're doing it.
That's awesome.
I am super excited to see what vehicles they get. But anyway, enough about me and the squats.
Let us move on to the miniature showcase.
Yep, I'm going to take that out of the way so I can paint some gloss wall.
Let me go like this.
Miniature showcase, miniature showcase.
Ooh.
Does it have a song? Does it have a theme?
Yeah, it does.
Is it playing now?
Ba-da-ba-pow. Yeah. And we're back to our miniature showcase, where we look at minis from the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook group. Thanks to everyone who's joined and is part of the community. It's super fun. We have some giveaways going on right now. Actually, just one giveaway, but it's for Steamforged Epic Encounters.
Oh, cool. It's the Lair of the Red Dragon.
Correct.
And the
Temple of the Snake God.
Temple of the Snake God. Thank you very much.
Yes. So
and
if you're...
The Temple of the Snake God one...
is painted...
You get the mini.
Yep, you get the miniature that was painted by Gretchen. So be excited about that. Be sure to check that out on our Facebook group. And the link is in the description below in case you are interested in joining. This week, instead of putting out a call to everybody, normally each week I put out a call. What have you guys been working on? People post. It's always awesome. I thought I would highlight the photos or miniatures that people submitted to our April month banner. Yeah.
The cover banner.
Yep. So every month I'll collect what people have been working on, and usually it's kind of people's best work. It's not just a work in progress.
Sure.
And so I thought that would be kind of fun to highlight that.
Sounds good.
Because we have some people who submit to that who don't always get to the weekly prompt. So
yes, where Ashlyn says, I must have missed this weekend's this week's submission post. Didn't miss it. Leona didn't do it.
I didn't do it. And I almost
that's why.
I almost said something, but then I didn't. So yeah. I'm sorry, everyone. But we're here now. So with that,
here's the point we've reached.
People don't always put exactly what the miniature is because they don't really have to, because I just highlight their name. So we might not know exactly. Dave probably knows many of them, the miniatures that are highlighted. First up, we have this miniature from Adam Bishop.
This is, I think it's a killer boss.
Okay.
From the Cruel Boys range from Age of Sigmar, Games Workshop.
Gotcha.
And Adam's done a great job here. Looks super cool. One of the things I like the most about the Cruel Boys thing, they've got all that. All of their armor is very heavily beaten and textured, that kind of thing. But their shields, all of their shields have, I can't remember what they're called. Somebody in the chat will let us know. Well,
faces?
Faces. They have faces.
Okay.
The faces has a particular name. It's like
okay.
like Scareface, but Scareface is not the name.
Okay.
But yeah, so this one's super cool. And yeah, it's got a great sort of tongue lolling out the front of it. And I think Adam's done an excellent job there. But one of the things I really love about Adam's work here is that all the cruel boys live in swamps. He's done a fantastic job with that that base. The base looks awesome with that gloss sort of finish on top. I'm not sure if this is it's taken a base from like Dragonforge Designs or something like that, which has a cavity in it.
Oh,
and it's poured,
okay.
Water or realistic water effects or
Right.
resin or something like that in there. Or if you simply just painted a gloss varnish over the top.
Right.
You could get that result from just a gloss varnish over it. But yeah, Adam's done an excellent job there. And
Either way, very successful.
Yeah, you can imagine that that beast splashing through the marshes. But yeah, looks awesome. Great work, Adam.
Next up, we have Alex Larson, who's painted up the Stuffed Fables range.
Awesome.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, I think years and years ago, we painted up the Stuffed Fable minis and that.
Tell me about it.
I think we painted up some of the characters on stream.
Yes.
And
also the robot dogs.
Yeah.
Whatever they were called.
I don't know what they're called. But yeah, I took it home and my daughter's painted up some of the other.
Oh,
ones.
awesome!
So,
yeah,
they're all like the creepy doll head spiders down the front, and the bunny rabbits, the dark hearts, I think they're called. They're all different. Like no two are the same.
Oh, that's cool.
They're all different paints and different levels of paint slapped on kind of thing. Yeah, but no, this is awesome. It's great to see all of these. I think it's cool. I like that you've gone with the different colors on the bases for the characters as well. It really would really help them stand out on the table. And I suspect I'm trying to remember exactly what the colors. There are different dice used in the game.
Right,
dice.
right.
And you can use, I think it's dice. You can use the dice for different things. So I think there's intelligence, there's strength, and that kind of thing. So I'm not sure if Alex has linked those to those colors, but yeah, they look great. I think it'd be a lot of fun to play through Stuffed Fables with these. Nice work, Alex.
Very lovely. Next up, we have Ashlyn.
Oh, Ashlyn has painted. This is a Robotech mini, I think. Pretty sure this is Robotech. And one of the I know that when these were made, I can't remember who did it, but there are three. Basically, you got three versions of the. So you have the robot version, then you have the robot turning into the plane, and then you have the plane.
Right.
Version. So obviously it's the plane version, but yeah, Ashlyn's done a great job here. These are tiny. They're this big, so there's a lot of great detail work there. And it looks like Ashlyn's put some decals on there. We've got the UNS something on the side, and 101 on the wing. But yeah, nicely done, Ashlyn. Looks very cool.
Very much agreed. Next up, we have Ayumi, who submitted the one of her monsters.
Oh, this is the Coatl.
Yep. Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl. Yeah. That we I think we saw this. Ayumi submitted this a couple of weeks ago.
Yes. So some of them are kind of repeats because they're people's best
people's
work.
Favorite
ones from the month.
Definitely worth showing this again. Ayumi's done a fantastic job, and I think on the group you can scroll back and check it out. You can see the different textures on the back. So the feather texture, there's fur texture. You can see a little bit there, the grey up around the shoulders, and then just that fantastic like non-metallic metal for the headdress and the spine, and a lot of parts at the top of the wings. I don't even know where I'm pointing at the moment. Doing my flapping. But yeah, just fantastic. And then that really very realistic mouth on the snake, sort of part, and those bright yellow eyes. But no, excellent work, Ayumi. Looks great.
Yeah, I think pushing it to the realistic colors was very successful in this aspect, which is interesting, I'm sure, on the board, because some of Ayumi's other monsters are very, like, bright and not realistic colors. So I can see how that would be a really cool way to have a board presence.
Yeah, definitely excellent. Nice work.
Very nice. Next up, we have Betsy. And we saw this miniature. We saw this miniature last week.
Yep, fantastic. Yeah, this is the
little troll, Mr. Troll.
Yep, this was the boss troll, and I think was it Josh was worried about the strawberries.
Yes.
But yeah, no. As with last week, fantastic work. I didn't notice last week, but up around the nose. The nose, pointing to the nose as if nobody's ever seen a nose before. The nose of the troll is some great, just been very subtle, sort of pink, being pushed into that green. But yep, looking great, Betsy. Very
and
nice.
Next we have Brian Nance. Speaking of Ninja Turtles.
Check it out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Absolutely fantastic. Yep, looking great, Brian.
Yeah, I really like the greens that you've pulled out for these.
Yeah.
I think they have been very successful.
A different green for each one. Who's the purple? It's purple Donatello.
Don't ask me.
I
don't know.
I think purple is Donatello. Pretty sure it's Donatello. But anyway.
Tell us, is the green the Donatello?
It's kind of my favorite. I think that the face is just that really. You've really brought out the sculpt there. Looks great. Nice work, Brian. These look awesome.
And next up we have Carl with the mini that he had painted a little while ago.
Okay. Excellent. So yeah, this is a Reaper mini, I think.
Yep.
It's just it might be a Sophie, but it's got a very ringmaster
Yes.
kind of feel to it, doesn't it?
Gather around
Yeah. Looks very
with
cool.
my gun.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is.
Is it just it's a gun? It's a gun cane.
It's a gun cane.
It's a cane pistol gun.
Okay.
It's all the things. But no, looking very cool there as well, and I like the skin tone on the membrane of the wings matches the skin tone on her legs and face.
Smart choice.
Yep, really just ties it together.
Because I think it's easy to make wings feel separate. They always look separate.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, they do. I think you see a lot of feathered wings.
Yeah.
Or, sort of demonic style wings, that kind of thing. And these are kind of in that demonic / bat kind of range. But one of the other things I love about this is that Carl's done with a very simple sort of scheme for the clothing. So you've got a dark, you've got a mid-tone, you've got a light.
Okay.
The black, the red, and the yellow.
Right.
Hasn't tried to do too much more. It's kept the non-metallic metals for the like around the end of the megaphone. The goggles are all in that yellow, working in that same sort of field there.
Right.
But yep, great work, Carl. Excellent.
Very much enjoy it. Next we have Chris Donnan.
Excellent.
With this, we've seen this before. It might have been when you were at Adepticon.
I think it was.
But
when I was yeah, very cool.
Some sort of monster-y monster.
This is a crazy, it's a crazy abominable snowman yeti kind of thing mixed with a little bit of it's got some mountain goat going on with the legs and the horns. But yeah, I'm loving it. I think the like the bluish purplish gray for the skin is unexpected.
Yes.
So So I think I'd really do like that a lot. It's got a bit of the shape of the whole model has got this, but also just that belly and having it in that purple.
Yeah.
For some reason, just really drives home like an ape kind of feel.
Yeah.
Like a big gorilla.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, and of course there's that purple orange. Actually, the blue. It's the purple and the blue end.
Right.
So it's got the orange sort of counterpoint. So, yeah.
They're contrasting nicely. Yeah.
Good work, Chris. Nice one.
Next we have Cornish Monkey painting, which we saw this last week.
Did you see this last week?
Madame Belle.
And
still love her.
Yep. I think one of the things I said last week that I loved was the keeping everything in that yellow sort of tone, so that it just looks like a great ensemble sort of thing. This is something she'd definitely be wearing on the red carpet.
She matches.
Or to the ballroom.
Still very good. Thank you for submitting. Yep. And next up we have Daniel.
Oh, sorry, I just want to say Josh was commenting on Chris's, said it's purple, and it has more than one eye and one horn, so it probably doesn't eat people. This is true, Josh. That's how you can tell. Excellent. So Daniel has painted up this...
dwarf?
That's a crazy adventurer. Is it a dwarf?
It's hard to tell with the scale.
Yeah. Yep.
But he is an adventurer, definitely, and he's holding a pipe and an axe and a staff.
That's the thing. It's like,
and he has plated metal.
plate on the legs, and he's got potion bottles. He's got a lot going on.
This is an awesome mini.
I think this is I think it's a dwarf fighter who's been around a long time.
Yeah.
And knows to keep those potions handy.
Yeah.
And it has the armor plate there, so he doesn't take an arrow to the knee.
Yep. Or like a sword.
Yep. But yeah, quite cool. I love that the dry brushing as well that Daniel's done on the cloak. It's given it that very sort of worn, kind of like a worn leather look. Dusty as well. But yep, looking cool. And I love that as well that Daniel's gone and framed it in in a piece of terrain.
Yes, that was really nice.
Great walking through. Nice work.
Very good picturing, photoing. Daniel Ney with this sea god.
Fantastic. This Poseidon,
potentially.
Poseidon. I think this might be. I could be completely wrong, but I think this might be from Raging Heroes.
Okay.
So Raging Heroes, they're an Italian company. They do a whole bunch of physical minis, but they also have a Patreon. They do STLs.
Right.
For digitally sculpted stuff, but whenever they do, they have a whole range of different pantheons of gods.
Oh,
and
nice.
heroes and that sort of thing.
That you can get.
Yep. When they show them, for example, the Greek gods, they did them, the skin and the hair was all as if they've been carved out of like marble.
Right.
And then the metallics were done in gold, and I think the robes were done in blue, is how they showed the renders. They could have showed them anyway, but that's how they did it. And everyone's always like, oh, it'd be great if somebody painted it like that.
Ta-da! It looks really good. That makes sense, though, with the white, because when I originally saw this photo, I was a little perturbed on why it looked like an alabaster statue. Now I understand that was like an actual... I mean, I knew it was a choice.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't unintentional, but that's actually really cool.
I hope that's why. But yeah, so I think Daniel's done a great job there. I'm not sure if the skulls that are sort of zooming around from behind are from that statue, or they might be from the Games Workshop mini from the Night Haunt range. But yeah, I think that alabaster look is just awesome. Great work, Daniel.
Yes, very nice.
Very cool.
Next we have Fabrice.
Fabrice. Yep, Fabrice has been painting up these minis from Massive Darkness 2.
Right.
So he was saying that he's alternating between the angels and the demons.
Right.
Going back and forth, back and forth. So I'm guessing this is one of the angels. Just kidding. It's one of the demons. Psych.
You didn't hold it. You didn't let me like look and be like, huh?
Yeah. Straight into it. But
well, it's probably because I would have been like, yes, definitely an angel. I have no idea this game. It's called Massive Jagness.
It's those almost feathers there. But because they're red, that obviously screams demon. The horns.
Yes. The
demon.
like 3 snake thing, like this snaking prong, I don't know, body.
Yeah.
I guess it's all part. I thought it was a separate body, but it's all part of it.
Yeah, I think it's just one big long thing.
Snaking body.
Snaking body.
So, yes, definitely demon.
This is wild. Yeah, there's a lot of work in this one, and I think Fabrice has done an excellent job picking that all out there. It's looking great. Very nice. And
Very
definitely head to the group and check out Fabrice's other works.
Yes. They've been very impressive.
nicely
I was going to say, this is one of many that are been very cool to see.
Yep.
Next we have Garrett.
Excellent. Oh, Garrett's, this is Sigvald, I think. Sigvald the Magnificent, which is from Age of Sigmar.
Nice.
So, yes, Sigvald is very much the pretty boy in the Age of Sigmar. Is basically is the high concept of perfection.
Gotcha. Okay.
Worship Slaanesh, the god of excess, and
right.
perfection. So, I think that in the rules it probably follows that as well. So,
right.
But
we had seen a work in progress on this,
Yeah.
so I believe that this is now a finished piece.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mentioning the reflection in the shield. Yeah. And I also, it might be a little hard to see in this photo, but on the computer you can see that from where like the light spills around his foot.
Right.
It's almost as if, like, as you said, it's perfection. It's almost like he's like bringing this like perfect light.
Yes. He does have lighting that goes everywhere with him.
Yeah.
He's always in the best light. Absolutely. But yeah, some fantastic work on that sky-earth reflection going on there in the shield. But no, awesome work, Garrett.
Yeah, and I really enjoy this mini, so it's been great to see your progress and now the completed thing. And
Cool.
next up we have Gavin Williams.
Okay, so from Sigvald the Magnificent to Malagos the Twisted. So
Spectrum.
Exactly. That's all so
And
yeah, this
where do you fall?
probably towards the Twisted. But no, this is a character from the Horus Heresy.
Okay. Yep.
So this is from the Sons of Horus. Malagos is the equerry of Horus himself. So an equerry is somebody who's kind of like an advisor.
Gotcha.
Advisor, butler, dog's body, all those sort of things mixed in together.
He'll tell you what's what, but also he'll do your dishes.
He'll do what you ask him to.
He'll do what you ask him.
He'll tell you why it's a bad idea at the same time.
Right. Okay.
Or why it's a good idea. Or, depends on the quality of the equerry.
Right. Are
they sycophantic, like Wormtongue, or are they actually keeping you on the straight and narrow?
Yeah.
So Malagos is a fairly famous character in the Horus Heresy.
Nice.
And Joel. No, sorry, who?
Gavin.
Gavin. Sorry. Gavin's done a great job on this one. Looks very cool. One of the favorite things about the Sons of Horus really is that green.
Right.
And Gavin's really nailed it there. Looks awesome. Excellent work.
And thank you for submitting. Yep. Next we have Joel Coronado. Excuse me.
Yep. Okay. Yes. Joel has painted up this. Is this an Etten?
Yes.
I think it is. Yep. I don't know where it's from.
I believe Ettins don't necessarily just have to have 2 heads.
Looks like it's got 3.
Because this one has 3. I don't know if an Etten is only 2 or if an Etten can be 3.
It's buy 2, get 1 free.
I went to the store and I said, can I just have 1 head?
I just need a 3rd head. But no, it's looking very cool. There's a lot of very natural tones going on there.
Yes.
The wood, pardon me, in the club and the mace, the different leathers that he's got going on. There's that leather strap, which is quite a bit more orange than the dark leather there. But yeah, I think Joel's done an excellent job there of keeping each of those reading as something different. It's not just, as I've just gone, paint it brown, put a wash over it kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's taken the time to really go through and work on each of those. Which makes this guy really pop. Excellent. Great work, Joel.
Very much
awesome.
Enjoy.
Indeed. 10 out of 10 would look at again.
Next we have Josh Edwards.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
and
Josh.
I believe this is a miniature we've seen before.
Yep, this is.
And either it's the same miniature, different picture.
Different pictures, different angle. The one we saw was last week.
Yeah,
it was on the
front.
Yeah, instead of having it on the rock, he'd replaced the rock with resin.
The ice,
chunks.
yes.
And I actually chatted with Josh. I think he said that the resin base that he's on is like 13 different chunks of resin to build the big thing there. So yeah, this is we're getting it from a different angle, which looks cool. This one shows a lot more of the musculature and the skin tone going on there, and those enormous, crazy horns that casting shadow onto the face. But again, Josh has done a really good job here. One of the things I really like is the metallics. You've got the silvers and like brass, and then you've got those little gold and bone sort of accents on it. So even though they're all in a similar color palette, he's sort of pushed the tonality on them a little bit differently.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think in this
So
picture you're able to notice that. I think before, because it was farther away because you wanted to show the base, it was a little hard to see that those bone pieces were actually different color. So this is a nice highlight
gives
on
a
that.
better lighting shot of that.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. So nice work, Josh.
Very cool. Next up we have JT with his hunter. We saw him last week. Still
cool.
looks awesome.
And again, just like Joel's work, I think my comment last week was about the all of the browns and the leathers. And
the browns.
Keeping those different, separated, and looking solid.
So what we've learned is if you take the time to push the browns and the textures, it definitely will pay off.
Yeah, you don't have to think of everything that you want to be leather doesn't have to be the same brown. Doesn't have to be the same leather. Right. You can do a wide variety of different leathers. I'm not sure if Jez is with us in the chat, but Jez will definitely tell you that there are a lot of different leather looks that you can work with. So, excellent, great work, JT.
And next we have Kyle.
Kyle with President Zelensky. This was I can't remember who did it. It might have been Loot Studios.
Well, is it really supposed to be him?
Yeah,
no way. I did not realize that. I was wondering. I was like, why is he painted?
Yeah, no, it's an STL.
That's wild.
In print and.
That's hilarious. I mean,
definitely, no, that's so it is.
No, that's great. But I did not realize that.
Yeah, you can see the Ukrainian symbol on the
on the bottom, because I noticed that it was the symbol and the colors, and I was like, did someone just take this mini and make it Ukrainian?
No, it was totally
it was like
done.
A donation thing.
Yeah.
Right? Cool.
So charitable.
You painted this up.
I can't remember exactly who it was. Somebody in the chat can let us know.
Okay.
But I am pretty sure it was Loot Studios, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But
cool.
Excellent work, Kyle.
Yeah, looking great.
Good one.
Laura with a little turtle guy. Adventure with I love the carrot hanging in front of us.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's super cool. Well, this is what you want if you want to be in a nice relaxed pace.
Right.
Adventuring party and need somebody to carry all your loot.
A turtle does, or a tortoise does.
Tortoise is the way to go. Strap it on there,
Nice.
and this also gives you something to do with like your 10-foot pole and your 50-footer rope. Your standard items. But I think my favorite thing about this is that face reminds me of the dinosaur from the Land Before Time.
I was gonna say it does. Yes.
Very much got that sort of thing.
Yep.
Even though I've never seen it, but I haven't watched the movie.
Yeah, I think it's the coloring. It's the gray and the white.
Yep.
I think the movie pushed the let's make it look more like animals we know,
Right.
rather than animals we don't know kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I think Laura's done an excellent job here. This looks super cool.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, sorry. Just go back for a sec.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. It has to happen like at least once every show, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
The basing. Look at the basing. The basing's got sort of hexagonal shapes.
Yep.
On it, very much like a tortoise shell.
Oh, that actually is pretty cool.
Good work.
That's good detailing.
Very nice. Excellent work, Laura. Thank you very much for sharing.
Next we have Logan Anderson. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4, 5 to go after this. Okay.
Is that okay?
Oh, fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All good.
Logan with this guy on an adventure.
Adventure on a
on
moose.
a moose.
Moose.
And I have to say, this adventure must be quite large to fit on a moose.
Well, I think anybody can sit on a moose.
Right, but anybody would look small on a moose.
Right,
That's what I'm
this
trying to
is true.
say. This guy looks equitable
big.
to the moose.
Well, I think to dominate a moose, to the point where you're allowed to ride it,
Right.
you'd have to be pretty hefty.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the lance is necessary. I would just be holding on to dear life as the as it charges into combat. But yes, very cool.
Yeah, I feel like the lance would get in the way.
Yeah. At some point, the moose is going to like thrash its head,
And then
it'll
your
catch
lance
the
will get
lance and
caught,
throw it away.
and it's going to get thrown.
But Logan didn't get to choose the weapon.
You did
I'm
not.
Sure. But no, I think Logan, you've done a great job there.
Yes.
Definitely very cool. Seeing a knight mounted on a moose. Very cool. Loving it. Nice work, Logan.
And with Michael Durr.
Excellent. And then has a nice little vignette base here. That's very cool. Have we seen that? I have a feeling we've seen that.
The adventure we've seen.
Before, yeah.
Yep. I believe it's a hobbit.
I was going to say.
Or halfling.
Halfling.
Excuse me.
Well, it's got the well, it could be either. It's got the bare feet.
Yep.
And that those proportions, but yeah, looking very cool, and the monster that's sort of up against there, I don't recognize that, but
Interestingly, the monster almost looks like its arms are articulated.
oh,
I don't know if that's true.
it's going to physically actually move that. I don't know. But
It might just be the way it was painted.
yeah, maybe it's the colors that are sort of throwing us back to something a little bit different. But
Yep.
Having that almost shell kind of look, it's got a little bit of the Ferris Moore kind of
Oh,
thing,
right.
where we've got that separate layer, I guess, between the two. But yeah, looking quite cool, and I think the greens and the reds on the adventurer are balancing nicely. Like, you've got echoed nicely in the monster there, the greens and the reds.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. It's interesting that they're the same tones.
Excellent. Nice work, Michael.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Next we have Ryan.
Oh, fantastic. Ryan's painted up a whole bunch of minis from the, I think it was probably first came out with the Witch Hunters Codex in 2003.
Oh, okay.
So there's that wonderful preacher there is a named character whose name escapes me at the moment. Got those two preachers on either side, and then the servitors there. So lobotomized servitors that have a single task to sort of follow them around and maybe go into combat with those huge pinching claws, or fix something, or make repairs on a tank. But yeah, these all look very cool. They look a very nice cohesive unit there.
I also really like the way that he's painted the bases of the like character ones.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's supposed to look like asphalt or more like dry-ish ground, gray ground, almost like volcanic.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's probably a little bit of like corkboard.
Oh, okay.
Used in there. I could be wrong, but it gives that sort of feel. But yeah, so it has that crumbled, cracked concrete.
Yep.
Sort of feel. Yeah, definitely good too, and that sort of elevated them as well. Gives them that different feel. But yeah, nice work there, Ryan.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Next, we did see this last week.
We did. Yep, this is the Sebastian's Lictor.
Got that great, still love it. I just wanted to show it again because it is part of our banner.
The banner, yep. Got that great camouflage change going on as it comes out of the desert. But yeah, awesome work, Sebastian. It's great.
And then we have Sean
has painted up. I think this mini is from one of the Underworld's sets that Sean's been working on.
Yes, I think we determined that.
From the Chosen Axes.
Yeah.
But yeah, something I hadn't realized before about the Fire Slayers is that, so on this one, it really shows up because Sean's gone for that very dark skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the shoulders there, you can see those little orangey sort of red parts.
Yes.
They are runes that are made of aether gold, I think, that are embedded in their skin.
Gosh. Oh, gosh.
And so normally you'd see these painted with more Caucasian skin tone, but that gold doesn't stand out anywhere near as well as what Sean's done here. So excellent choice there. And the darker metal of that, the sort of dragon
headpiece,
headpiece there, really helps that the crest and the beard stand out. But yeah, nice work there, Sean.
Very successful.
Very cool.
And then last mini of tonight, we have Weston.
Weston, you're late. Weston is never late.
He arrives precisely when he tends to.
Which is right at the end, yeah. So, but yeah, Gandalf looks excellent there. He's got Glamdring, I think, in his scabbard there.
Yes.
But yeah, looking very cool. Again, there's multiple greys going on there. The hat and the robe are different, which they are. I think they're described differently, but also in the films they're done differently. Do that again, different material, different texture, different feel, which again is different from the gray of the beard.
Yep. And I like that he's pushed the light gray on the hat, but then like the blue. So he's like pushed more white onto the hat and then like more blue from the gray into the scabbard.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's got that lighter, as you go up the miniature, it's looking lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Which is what you'd see in sort of real life and real lighting conditions. Yeah, the robe is very dark down towards the feet.
Yes.
Yep. Looking very cool. Nice work, Weston.
And thank you to everyone who was part of the miniature banner this week. So you are able to check that banner out on our Facebook group. And if you'd like to be part of the banner, make sure that you keep an eye out every month. That's when I ask for banner photos.
Usually it's the last day of the month.
No,
Maybe
it's not.
The day before.
This month I think I gave people like a couple days, like a week. I think I gave them a week.
Oh, surely it wasn't a week. It could have been a week. Maybe I just noticed the ones that arrive on that. Oh!
There were a couple, I think March and February.
Like February 31st?
Yeah, February was me being like, it's March, I can't believe it.
It's March already.
So, yes.
Cursed smudge.
I know, and now it's April. So this guy's really dark, except for the silver on his, what's it called?
I don't know. What is it called?
Plating. His metal plating.
Okay. The armor.
And did you want me to talk about the...
I'm just going to jump back into some of the chat because we couldn't see the chat completely during that.
Sorry.
Josh and Sean both said the Veritech fighter. So the plane that Ashlyn painted.
Oh, gotcha.
Josh is quite squattle, but his friends call him Tony. Donatello does have mad bow staff skills. You are correct. I did see the purple one about the one high, one horn. It's not a star leaf he wants. I'll get that one. Yes. Indeed, Josh. Yay, hooray for the happy little minis. Cool. So which one am I going to work on next?
See, I just wanted to show everybody the slime goop.
Oh, the goop? Yep.
Did people see that before we went? Oh.
It's going to come back around again. Yeah, we'll see it. Oh, I didn't have the gloss on it, though. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, it looked different to me when I just saw it just now. Yeah, it shines a little bit more.
Just
right there. Yep. Looks good.
Cool.
Very nice.
Huzzah.
Ferrous Maw, which I kept wanting to call Ferocious Maw.
Ferocious Maw?
Ferocious Maw. I'm like, stop it. Ferrous is a word.
It is.
Ferrous? Did the lights just flicker to you? Okay. I said, did the lights just flicker to you?
No.
Like, did it look like the lights flickered? Because it did for me.
That's frightening.
Spooky!
There we go. Should I paint the hunter next?
Yeah.
I think I will. I'll paint the hunter. Okay. This is one where I'm not going to follow the art. The art card has some pretty strong object source lighting going on.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, tempting though it is, I need to wrap my head around that a little bit more before I jump into that. So maybe if we have another one later on, come across another one later on that has
okay.
I might give that a go.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can make that happen.
Let's go for some regular old colours. It's got the weirdest bow. So the bow, the centre staff has two...
strings?
No, not strings, but two kind of staves, bow stave. And he's holding the smaller, closer one. I wonder how that would actually work.
Oh, so he's not holding both of them?
Yeah. I think your fingers get pinched.
Because he would have to...
It's just odd.
It's okay. Someone wasn't thinking about that. Weapons usage.
It's fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I'm going to do to make sure I can pick out all these things, so he's got loads and loads and loads of bones all over him. So let's give this sort of a dry brush. Probably going to give it a dry brush with some of the... Just a really light dry brush with the beige brown. So even though this is quite mid-tone, it's going to be quite a departure from everything. I just pick out all of the... Just by doing this quickly, we're going to see all of those different elements. And make sure that we don't miss anything, or more likely just make a poor decision as to what the base colouring should be. So it's always a good idea to have a good sense of what all of your parts are.
Yeah, I've tried to be better about that. Like what different things are going to be, like really planning out your colors. Really taking the time and being like, okay, this
He's got a great, he's got a big sort of raven skull on his belt.
Oh, nice.
So that should be fun to pick out. Okay, got that going on.
The importance of planning.
Yeah. Indeed. So I'm going to do here is actually going to.
Well, especially if you're a beginner.
I just think for anything, it's super important to be able to just step back and have a look at what the different elements are. You got to tackle them. I think because he's got this big cloak on the back here with this great fur texture, I want to dry brush that. So I'm going to do that first, even though it sort of sits on the outside of the model. But it means that once I get that done, the dry brushing is out of the way. So I've just hit it with some, so on top of that beige brown, I've gone with a little bit of the desert yellow that I used before. And this is also another thing you can do in your board game miniature painting. Even though I'm painting these two separately, like I'm not sort of batch painting them, I can go back and use some of the same colors on the minis. So I might not use the bright green or even the desaturated greens, but because I've used desert yellow as my sort of lighter brown and yellow kind of color, that will match on the tabletop with the Ferris Moore. Way to start that.
Or at least if they're, they'll have some like resemblance to each other.
Yep.
They might not ever sit next to each other, but it's kind of cool to allow theming.
Yep.
Like thinking about it as a theme rather than a army.
Yeah. Yep.
Colors.
Then I am going to. So with this one, I'm going to go with a Caucasian kind of flesh kind of tone to it. This will sort of sit nicely underneath everything. So throwing down some tan first. The face in there. So the face is hidden by the, mostly hidden by the hood. So I have to come back and touch up the edges of the hood when we get to that. And that's why at this point, painting and working from the outside, sorry, the inside out is going to be the way to go. So if we do sort of, or if I go over onto other areas, I can just always touch it up by the next color that's going to go over the top of it. So like this wrap around his arm, for example.
Right.
If I end up splashing onto it like that, it doesn't matter. I don't need to clean it up immediately. I can just wait until I get to the point where I'm painting those wrappings, and I can just paint over it with whatever the base color is for that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One thing that you should really always do is go back and do corrections. So anywhere areas where you've got paint where you don't want the paint to be, sort of correct it to be the color that you want it to be. Some people like to do that after each step by painting it back at the primer color, which would in this case be black. But over time, like if you're doing that at every stage, that can add a lot of time to your painting.
Right.
And as we're talking about painting lots and lots of minis,
sometimes you'd want to eliminate that.
there's a corner you've got to cut, and that is just doing corrections once. So yeah, if I'm doing those corrections by painting that next level, it means by the end I'll only have sort of a very small amount of corrections to actually have to deal with. This hunter has no shoes on.
Is he barefoot?
He is barefoot. So
He's a wild hunter.
yeah. I wonder how his feet smell. Probably like pine needles.
Probably fine. Yeah, I was gonna say he probably has
Crushed
Actually,
pine
maybe that's
needles.
not true. Probably smells like mud.
Yeah, crushed pine needles, mud, and snails.
Crushed pine needles, mud, and snails.
Not sure exactly what kind of pants he's wearing, but just to help everything else stand out, so the bones that he's got wrapped around his legs and the sort of the ropes or the hide that's keeping them on, I'm going to leave his pants black, and I'm not actually going to highlight them.
Okay. That works.
Again, save a little bit of time. I could go through and spend the time highlighting the pants, but people aren't going to be looking at the pants.
Yeah,
They're looking at
they're not.
the bones. They're going to be looking at the rest of the cloak around there.
Tim says, will any of you guys be at BGG in Dallas in May? We will. I as Painting Happy Lil Minis, we will not be at BGG, sadly. But
I will not be at BGG. BGG.
which is the Board Game Geek, con.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's super exciting that you're planning on going.
Yeah.
I hope it is a lovely time. I've heard lovely things about that convention, so
Yep.
it should be very fun.
I bet you our friend Ross Thompson will be there.
Oh, yes,
Ross
I think
Thompson
so.
from Steamforged
Yes.
Games. now with Steamforged Games.
Yes,
Russ will be there.
I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely cool. Okay. Sorry.
Would you like to put my mini on the spinner?
Sure.
Do you mind? Should I just walk over there or? Okay. Cool.
Here we go.
Put both of them on there. Good night, all. I have to get to these squirrels on this wheel and put the electrons into the ether. Yes.
Go for it, Josh.
Go. Thanks for joining.
Go
yes,
check out
Betsy and I
JP Rockets
are.
on Twitch.
Yes. Josh has his own Twitch and does painting as well. So if you're interested in seeing more painting, do that.
Excellent.
Follow.
Share, subscribe.
Share, subscribe.
Thumbs up button.
So there's my Stalking Reaper for now. He, in his picture, so you know how you're kind of like watercolory approach? It looks more successful on yours. But I kind of decided like that's kind of how the art was on mine too.
Right.
So I think I might just lean into that a little bit more.
Sure, yeah.
So I have the silver as a base.
Yep.
But then there's like greens and browns that are showing up on
Like
his
reflecting in this
on his armor.
Yep.
So that's kind of why that like one shoulder pad has like a brown highlight instead of a silver highlight.
Yep.
But it's honestly because I'm trying to follow like the feel of the art.
Right.
So right now I think the colors are a little bit muddied.
Okay.
But I was really trying to also be. It's very, very silver, and so I'm trying to dull down the silver at his legs.
Sure.
And really only let the silver around his pauldron and mask be the brightest part.
Yep.
So
One thing that you can do is rather than like painting in those colors onto the silver, is go with a like put a wash over
Okay.
it. So thin it down to like a wash or a glaze sort of thing. You might need to build up a couple of layers to it. But it'll give that reflected in silver kind of look. You still have the silver.
Gotcha.
But it might not be as stark a colour difference.
Yeah, right now it's pretty stark.
and down on the legs, you can throw in some darker brown washes,
right,
which will dull that down as well. So you still around the tops of the armor plates on the legs, you'll get that, have that silver, but towards the bottom,
right,
you got that reflecting. It's much closer. There's less light. All those sort of things going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
Which I did try and dull down. The feet and the leg pieces are probably like 2 tones back from what they were. So right. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to, because I'm really trying to just make it his face that you see. That's really bright. Honestly, the picture in the model is a lot more colorful, but I think to keep in the spookiness, it's actually better to keep him darker.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Yeah. That's where I'm going with that mini. So, yes, we will be back next week, Thursday, and we will be working on some of the heroes.
Cool.
And, maybe we'll do, what are they called? The tortoise?
The turtle?
The turtle.
I'm sure that's what it's called.
Yeah.
If it's not, it should be.
So, we'll have fun with working on some of the heroes and then go back to the foes the week after. So we might not finish all the heroes, but the goal is to just kind of bounce back around and show you some more models, not just work on like one model the whole time.
The whole time. Which is why we're not
Dave is able to paint a model in 2 hours, so there you go.
It's really simple because it's all the same. There's no... I didn't have to pick out any different areas. So.
That's so true.
Yeah. But yeah, awesome. That was a lot of fun.
So that's what we'll be working on next week. Make sure that you hit up the Facebook group to see what other people have been working on. And also we have that giveaway that's been going on. If you're interested in Steamforged games, we have a Steamforged games giveaway. And yeah, thanks to Steamforged for giving us Bardsung so that we are able to paint it on the stream. And we have so many minis. I planned for this month to be Bardsung, but it might come back like in a different month because Bardsung has many minis.
It does.
So.
It does have many. It's all good.
It is all good.
Very cool.
Alrighty. Let me figure out where I want to go with this. We will see you all next week then.
We will. Thanks very much, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.